Hello, folks. I'd like to do a review, like a first time review of me seeing Paul McCartney, April 28th at the Spokane Arena. It was my first time seeing Paul McCartney. Um, I was supposed to go see him. In fact, well, I was a roadie in the late 80s, early 90s for about 15 shows or so. My cousin was a supervisor. Um, And every so often he'd call me up and say, "Yeah, Paul McCartney's working next week. You want to work the show?" Yeah. So, um, 1989, Paul McCartney was doing his My Brave Face album, and he did his world tour comeback in Tempe, Arizona, and it was a whole world tour, so it went on for 2 years. And I worked the inn, which is the setup. I set the stage up and did the video monitors, and I set the folding chairs up for front row people. Um, the night before, my friend was killed in a car accident, drunk driving. So I must have worked the show you know, that next day, the setup, just in a daze. It was 30 years ago. Um, the day of the show, which was the next day, you're supposed to come back. You get a backstage pass, so you get to see the show, and then you do the teardown. You and about 50 other guys or 100 other guys, load everything up, trusses, blah blah blah, pack it all away in cases, put it in the trucks. And for that, you get a T-shirt, backstage pass. At that time, it was like $15 an hour. Nowadays, it'd be like $30 an hour. Wow, right? T-shirt, backstage pass, wristbands showing what part of the crew you were on. And he set up, him and Linda McCartney, his wife, set up a tent for the crew with like tons of food in there, all vegetarian stuff because they were vegetarians, but they were very nice. But I never did go back to the show to see the show or do the out, which is the teardown, because the my friend's funeral was that day, and I was just too broken up. You know, I just didn't have it in me to go back. I've always kind of regretted that over the last 30 years that, you know, that probably would have helped me so much going to see Paul McCartney, and working the show. Oh well, so I've always regretted that over the last 30 years. So this was actually my first time seeing Paul McCartney in concert 30 years later, than I should have. I got to Spokane Arena. Um, Waited for about 20 minutes in line. Not too bad. I had the downloaded ticket. Um, I wasn't on the floor, but I was right next to the floor, about halfway down the floor, first row, like seat G. So only about 10 or 15 feet from the floor. Maybe 40, 50 feet from the stage. 50, 60 feet from the stage. Not too bad. Not too bad. Um, he came out, and the first thing you heard, the lights went down. It's a small arena. It's where Gonzaga basketball team plays, the college basketball team. So it's a basketball court arena. So there's only 15,000 capacity to begin with. So it's not like a big stadium. Um, and the lights darken, and then you hear dun for like 30 seconds, which is like, I believe, the last note to Day in the Life. And then he comes walking out. Everybody goes crazy, of course, of course. Um, he came out, and I believe he did. I believe he did "Can't Buy Me Love." I'm pretty sure it was "Can't Buy Me Love." Correct me if I'm wrong, people, please. Um, I know he did "You and I." He did "Let Me Roll It," "Heart Like a Wheel." I think that's from Wings. You remember that song? Let me roll it, let me roll it to you. I loved Wings. I was a kid when Wings was going on, so those are my songs. Then he talked about Jimi Hendrix for a while. Said how they had just put Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album out, and then 2 days later, he's in the audience at a Jimi Hendrix show, and out comes Jimi Hendrix doing Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And he said he was blown away. And then he did Getting Better All the Time. Getting Better All the Time. Yeah, that was good. I always loved that song. Um, then I think he went straight into Maybe I'm Amazed. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you love me. Oh, that was great. Love Me Do. He did Love Me Do. Blackbird. He did, of course, he did Blackbird. Um, and then the lights dimmed, and his part of the stage went up about 20 feet above everybody else. And on his part of the stage, that was the 20 feet, was a hologram and cartoons of not cartoons, but holograms of blackbirds on the front of the stage as he's singing. But he's way up above everybody else, like 20 feet above everybody. So that was kind of cool. Um, then I believe he did about 6 or 7 new songs. Um, a few that I didn't know. I gotta admit, sorry. Uh, he did come out with the and he waved the big old Ukrainian flag around. That was pretty cool. And the other guy behind him, the other bandmate behind him, had the British flag, Union Jack, and the other bandmate behind him had the big old American flag, and then the dude behind him had a green Washington State flag. So that was kind of cool. All 4 of them came out, woo, did the flag. Then he talked about his wife, uh, who was in the audience, and he sang a song for her. I think that was You and I. He did For the Benefit of Mr. Kite. For the benefit of Mr. Kite, there'll be a show tonight. Um, and tons of course, hundreds of lights going everywhere, all over, while for that circus effect. It was pretty cool. Oh, he did Something, an ode to George Harrison. He talked about George Harrison for a while, and then he did Something. I believe he did it on ukulele. Could have been mandolin, but I think it was ukulele. It was a little sped up, and it was kind of Paul McCartneyized. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was great. It was really great. Um, he did Obla Di, Obla Da. I've always loved that song. Obla Di, Obla Da, la cosa. Um, oh, he did You Never Give Me Your Money. You never give me your money. And Came In Through the Bathroom Window. So that's a rare one. Came in. That's great. Um, he did Get Back. With all the Beatles, on the rooftop concert, on the video monitors behind him as he's singing. That was pretty cool. Uh, then I believe he left and came back like an encore type of thing. Did Let It Be, of course. Yeah, I mean, come on, you have to do Let It Be. Then he did Hey Jude, and he was telling everybody, everybody over here, la, now over, now only you, now the men, la, la, then other women, la, la, now everybody. So that was cool. Of course, he got the whole arena into it. That was really cool. Then he did a couple songs. I forgot the songs because they were kind of newer. Sorry. Um, I Got a Feeling. Oh, that was a great one. He did that kind of a duet with John. The old John popped up on the video screens, and Paul McCartney now, and they both did I got a feeling deep inside. Oh yeah, and they both kind of sang. You know what I mean? Everybody had a good time. That was really cool. The crowd went crazy. He did Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Da na 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 na. Of course. Helter Skelter. That's a prerequisite. You would think he has to do Helter Skelter. And then the last song I believe was Carry That Weight and Golden Slumbers. Golden Slumbers. Yeah. They put it on and do not cry. Yeah. He could have did. He didn't do Yesterday. I really wanted him to do Yesterday. Hey Bulldog. Let Him In from Wings. My Brave Face. There was he could have did 200 songs and you'd still be like, but wait, he didn't do that one. You know what I mean? But all in all, his voice was a little shaky at times. The sound was I wish the sound was a little better quality. It was very bass heavy, and and it was very very loud. It was more of a stadium sound, but we were in a little arena with only 14,000. You know what I mean? So it was kind of overwhelming. Oh, and he did "Live and Let Die," of course, with big explosions that went all the way up to the top of the roof of the little arena. Um, those were loud. It really shook the whole arena. Um, would have been perfect for a stadium because all the other shows are stadium size, like 70,000 seat stadiums. This was a little arena, so a lot of things he was talking about, like when he was talking about Jimi Hendrix, were kind of muffled. So he'd be like, "Yeah, so Jimi Hendrix was talking about this, and then he did this, ooh, with the guitar," and you're like, What'd he say? What?" You know. So they really should have accounted for that. The sound guy should have, you know. But I mean, come on. It's Paul McCartney. It's a once in a lifetime thing. I had a great seat. I got lucky. I was on that website the minute it opened at bam 10 a.m. You know what I mean? Like the month before, bam 10 a.m. And I wanted to get 2 or 3 seats, and by the time I went to pay, bam, they were already sold out like 30 seconds later. So then I hit best available seat option, and it gave me that seat where I was in, and which was only, like I said, 40, 50, 60 feet from the stage. Not too bad. About halfway floor, right up to the side. Um, and then it said you've got like 2 minutes to pay or else. So all right, I paid. Oh, and I got a T-shirt. Paul McCartney. I don't know where he's walking to. Hold on a second. I really don't know where he's walking to. Possibly across the pond to America? The Got Back tour, you know what I mean? But I don't know. Looks like he's walking to nowhere. Walking to a sailboat. And here's the back of the shirt. It's the Got Back North American Tour 2022. And then you can see the cities and stuff. So, that is my review. First time seeing. Well, first time reaction. First time review, right? Subscribe, please. I got a bunch of Paul McCartney videos up from the show. Took it with my 20-year-old baked potato camera. You know, better than nothing, right? All right, folks. Thanks a lot. Thanks for listening to me babble about Paul McCartney. Have a great day. Oh, and you see this hat? This MTV hat? It's a 1981, I believe, a 1981 MTV hat, original. It was my cousin's, the guy who got me into doing concerts in the late 80s, early 90s. He's done hundreds and hundreds of shows. Well, he just died. That was my cousin Steve. He just died from corona last year. So I wore this hat to the show so my cousin Steve could see Paul McCartney one last time. You know what I mean? All right. Thanks a lot for listening, man. Have a great day. Bye. Please subscribe.